Hello and welcome back to the Hoarder Crafting Podcast. My name is Sasha and I'm coming to you today from a cold, very cold town just outside of Birmingham in the West Midlands here in the UK. This is episode number 39 and it's currently Tuesday. I am thinking of changing the days I record to Tuesdays. This is a bit of a test. This is also going to involve talk about one project and a giant bag of goodies. So it was the Christmas wool show 2 days ago, Sunday just gone. I attended. I have a lot of yarn. So I will warn you before I start going through that if you're not interested in seeing a big haul. So I shall start with projects for this week. Start with the regular stuff. I have worked on a grand total of one project this week, which means I have a finished object. I did not think I was going to get these finished, but I grafted the kitchen and stitched the toe together about 20 minutes ago. And it is these socks that I made for a friend who's coming over next week and I need to give them to her for Christmas. So these are using the West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the colourway Bullfinch. It is a 64 stitch sock on a 2.75mm needle. I did 25 rounds of 2x2 rib and then I went into a 3x1 rib for the rest of the sock. They are heel flap and gussets. And yeah, they are finished. In fact, they are so freshly finished, I haven't actually weighed these yet to see how much I used. I'm guessing by previous socks I've made for this person, it's about 75 grams. I will weigh them shortly because I need to wrap them up. And if I remember, I will put on screen here how much I used. But they are finished. That is the first of 6 or 7 Christmas knits that I need to get finished. We shall see if I manage to get that done. And knitting wise, that is everything I've worked on this week. I think I put 1 or 2 rows on the cowl, not really worth showing, but that will be my next focus, so hopefully that'll be finished. That should be finished by next week. There's not a ton left to do at this point. It's just forcing myself to work on it, which I forced myself to work on these when I really wanted to work on something else, but yeah. Prioritising, deadlines, all of the stuff. And for actual knitting content, that is everything. I shall now be moving on to the yarn show and the haul. If you are interested in life stuffs, I went to a wool show. There is something else I will talk about near the end, but it's not really important or anything. So if you're not interested in the haul, I will say goodbye here. If you are interested in hearing about the yarn show and seeing what I got, it begins here. So I didn't end up recording any footage at the show. This is because it was incredibly busy when we got there. All of the stalls were busy, there was a lot of people there. I didn't actually record any footage at the yarn show because it was incredibly busy. All the stalls were full of people. I couldn't really get a decent shot of the stalls and I didn't want to be that person with a camera on my phone getting in people's faces who didn't really want to be in it. I wanted to respect other people's privacy, and in most cases the stall holders were also quite busy as well, so I didn't want to interrupt them to ask if I could record some footage of their stall, which is what I always do. It's nice to be polite, to talk to people, you know, and I could have probably recorded a bit of footage before we left at 2:30, but at that point a lot of the stalls were quite empty. There seemed to be quite a lot of them had done quite well basically. There was a lot of empty spaces, and although people were trying to make their stall look full and rearrange, it was so busy that even some stalls were struggling. and I didn't really want to show stalls in that state because it doesn't show the best, it's not the best face forward for them, so I didn't get any footage. I do, however, have a big bag of goodies. Everything I bought thankfully fit into this one bag. I did have a second bag with me, but that also had my project in it, and at the time I was splitting this between the two bags just for ease of carrying, but it all fits into this one bag. It was a lovely show. It wasn't as big as last year, I think, because it was relatively short notice from what I can remember. I think they said they had about 2 or 3 months when they got news notified and the like to say they could have that day. So I think it was there was less stalls because there was sort of less time. So it was only 2 rooms instead of 3. They also didn't have the CAF set up this year, so you had to go kind of out of the event and round to the motorcycle museum. And that was a nightmare. We kind of walked over there at one point in the hopes of getting a hot drink and a cake or something, and basically went to stop that for a game of soldiers because that queue was a nightmare. There was nowhere to sit, nothing. So we ended up just kind of going back to the main area, finding a seat and making do with the can of Pepsi that we brought with us. So, but it was a very good show. It looked like everybody had a really good time. It looked like most of the stalls were making a killing. And yeah, I will say, I forgot to take this book with me. I was getting everything together the morning of, like getting the last bits together, wanted to get gone. I was driving, so I was sort of a bit flustered, and I forgot to pick up this book, which I should have put in my bag the night before and forgot. So yeah, and the internet was not great. A lot of the stalls were struggling to connect to the internet for people to pay by card. It was kind of the same last year, but it was a lot busier this year, so I think it was the Wi-Fi was taking quite a hammering. So I'd left this at home, so I didn't end up buying anything out of this book, although I did remember one of them that I was looking for. Well, I remember 2 of them that I was looking for, so, but I didn't end up buying for that, so I shall now get into this. With my Wonder Wool haul, I did it in rough order of how I bought it, but that's because I laid it all out beforehand so I could show it to people. I'm just going to pull it out of the bag as I get to it and tell you a bit about the yarn, a bit about the stall stuff. And the first item is going to be incredibly crinkly. There might be a little bit of glare, but from what I can remember, it is the only thing that's going to cause crinkling and glare. So when I went to this wool show, I don't need any more mini skeins. I've got enough mini skeins and I've got enough scraps. And the problem was I took a little devil with me, sitting on my shoulder going, yes you do, yes you do. I have some minis. So, these, and I didn't even check what base these were when I bought them because I'm smart. These are from, let's see if I can, from the Woolly Tangle. These are the Jewels mini sets. I'm going to cover up the price. I generally don't show prices or talk about how much I pay. Yarn is everybody else's business, how much they pay, their business, yada yada yada. You don't need to know how much I spend on yarn. But that is the back label. So these are 60% merino wool, 20% silk, 20% yak. So I would say you probably could use these for socks. I'm not going to use these for socks. I'm going to be using these for colour work. And the colours are blackcurrant, maroon, the Diggerous Blue, I'm probably saying that completely wrong, Cinder Toffee, and Moss. So they are very rainbow-esque. I think these are great. I love these colours. They are moody and lovely and wonderful, and I'm looking forward to probably making a colourwork cowl out of this, but I will get to that in a bit. Love these. These are amazing. So happy. The website is there. I will also link the websites. Where there is a website, I will link them all in the description box below, along with what I bought. So I won't put like the names of all the minis, but I will say it was the Jewels mini set. It'll help you to find them. Sorry. But oh, these look lovely. These are amazing. I do like this dyer. I struggle at times to pick colours from her. I have used her yarn before. What is this? And now that is the rustling done, as far as I know. There might be a bit of paper rustling, but there won't be the rustling of plastic packaging. And while we're on the subject of mini skeins, this that I'm about to show is the only thing that wasn't bought for me. So when going to this show, I wanted to shop for myself, but I'm also really bad at buying stuff for other people. And my partner basically said, stop thinking about other people and buy stuff for yourself. You don't knit enough stuff for yourself. And has basically told me that next year I need to make more stuff for myself. Okay, fair enough. I do have quite a lot of yarn to make stuff for me that I haven't got round to. Part of it was because I have been on a weight loss journey, and I don't want to make something and then it doesn't fit me next year because it's way too big, because unfortunately a lot of my jumpers now fall into that category. So it's why you don't see me wearing all that much stuff I've made, because a lot of it no longer fits. So next year I will be making a lot more stuff for me. Hence an entire bag of yarn that I clearly needed. But this item, there was actually 2 items I purchased from this stall, but this one item is the only item that I did not buy for me, yarn-wise. There is another thing that I technically bought for something else, but we'll get to that. But this is the only yarn not bought for me, and it is from the Dye Shack. And this is, so there is 2 shades of brown and a purple, and it is a Gnomes mini. This is 3 20-gram skeins, mini skeins, in order to make a gnome, and I shall be making another Nando the Magnificent using these to sit on my other half's desk. He fell in love with this purple, is what it was, so I said I will buy that and make that for you. I think he was going to try and pay for this himself and find me slapping his hand away going bugger off. So the only thing not purchased for me yarn-wise. So, and these do feel very nice. I do love the colours, and I am looking forward to starting this next year. But I am very happy with these colours as well. There will probably be enough to make 2 gnomes out of this, going by the last one I made. So yeah, I shall put that there. And while I was at the Dye Shack, I also had my other half pick out a Christmas cracker for me. So I was like, I'm gonna get one of those because, yeah, it looks cute. I like the packaging. he picked it, I picked it up, looked at the side and went, oh, lovely, perfect, it's orange. Which I think the person was expecting me to put it back and pick another one. But no, he picked it, I got it. But inside these little crackers, there is a mini skein and a gift. I have opened this previously. So, what have I done here? Oh, God. Apparently when I tied this back up, I made sure I couldn't get back into it. And inside was this orange with flecks of pink and peach mini skein, which, to be honest, will probably just go towards making gnomes. So, kind of, I probably won't pair it with these three, but they're basically the same base. And then the gift in here was a little pair of stalk scissors. Aren't they cute? And they also come with a little protector, which I am sure the moment I start using these, I will lose. But they are lovely. It's very nice. And I shall now put this back into here for the time being. Nice and neatly. And tie this back up. Mostly so that it looks pretty. I also don't need it just yet, and I am going to put this on my tree, which I am hoping to put up this week, which my partner doesn't know about yet. But I'm hoping to get my Christmas tree out this week. But yep, little Christmas cracker from the Die Shack. I don't know if she does these on her website, but once again it will be linked. So yeah. And that's it for mini skeins. We're now on to the full skeins. But before we actually do that, I'm going to move on to this little bag. It contains little bits that I got from 3 different shops. So the first item I am going to show was not the first item of this that I bought, but it's the easiest to show, and it links into these mini skeins. I picked up a doodle deck. I think these are the half doodle decks by Pacific Knit Co, which I believe is Jamie Lomax. Is it Jamie or Janie? Can't remember. But I got the Dino Doodle deck. I am so happy with this. So happy. I am going to make myself probably a cowl. We shall see. But yes, it is amazing. It is lovely. I love it. It's and then I shall show you something else that was what I'm about to show you. I'm pretty sure was my very first purchase, almost second, but I picked up some more point protectors or stitch stoppers. The first one, because it was, because it really matches with the Christmas theme, is the pumpkins. But more specifically, I got 2 dinosaurs. 2 different dinos. So there is I believe it's a Stegosaurus and a pterodactyl. And these came from Bellica Yarns. And like as soon as I was looking through, because I knew I wanted some more stitch stoppers or point protectors, I picked up the pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns, because I was like, oh my god, those are so cute, and these are the first things I saw, and then I was like, let's have a look through it, and then I instantly went, oh, dinosaurs! And my partner went, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then I showed you, and I was like, you have to get those are so you. So, the dino cowl, or whatever I make, dinosaur, will have dino point protectors. I'm such a child. I am such a child. I absolutely love this. I guess I didn't go through a dino phase as a kid, so I guess I am reliving my youth and now having my dino phase. So, dinos. And then the last little item that I bought was technically the only other thing that wasn't for me that I bought, but it's not yarn related. And it's buttons. These are for the... This is to go on the Jones cardigan I'm knitting for my other half. And they are from tomdyson.com. I will again link this down below. I can't remember off the top of my head the name of the stall I got this from, but I will endeavour to look it up. So I'm pretty sure she also had a bunch of Winnie the Pooh inspired advent calendars, which might help me find it. I'm going to put these back in here just so that I don't lose them while talking about everything. But all of the non-yarn but yarn related purchases. So we are now on to a bag full of 100 gram skeins. And anybody wondering, yes, my goal of being stash neutral this year has basically gone completely out the window. Yes, I can somehow finish all 6 or 7 gift knits plus about 2 other projects in, what, 6 weeks? So, yeah. But, what's this? And I shall start with the skein. I can't tell you what it looks like, and I can't even show you what it looks like, because it looks like this at the moment. This was from Super Effective Yarns. He had a whole bunch of mystery well, 100 gram skeins. You know what they are because it says 4-ply yak 100 grams plus the price. He did say that he could tell me roughly what colour it would be, but I decided to leave it as a complete surprise. However, at this stall, I happened to go in there and was looking at it, and then the guy spoke to me. I was like, oh hello, and I was like, oh my god, because he was wearing a green stick season sweater, and my other half was there wearing his brown stick season sweater, and I was like, oh my god, you two match! Oh my god! I was so happy. I was ridiculously happy. And of course, so my half's looking at me like, what are you smoking? And then looked at himself and looked at him and went, oh. But I think he told me his name. I'm afraid I can't remember his name. I'm awfully sorry. But yeah, I decided to get myself this, and we're now going to play the game of can I wait till Christmas to open this, because I was like, I'm going to put this under the tree and I'm not going to open it till Christmas Day. To which my partner literally went, yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. So I don't know what colour this is. Like, I don't have the foggiest what this might be. But I have looked at his website. I have seen the type of colours he does. So, but if this isn't really my colours, it's fine. I can always make socks for my other half with it. But he kind of glanced into the one corner and says, I think it's going to be for you because it looks like your thing, and would not tell me anything else. So I bought this, and we're now going to play the game of you'll find out when I do. Actually, I'll find out before you, but you kind of have to wait till Christmas as well. So, and I actually bought that. I'm pretty sure that was my first yarn purchase of the show, because he didn't have loads of them. I think he only had about 20, and by lunchtime he had sold out. So I'm glad I got that when I did, and I am glad that I picked yak for a bit of moody. A lot of the yak that I've seen at the show was all very dark and moody and very nice. And now, the next one, as I reach into my bag of goodies, is completely the fault of Nice's Makes. I didn't end up seeing her at the show. I had hoped to kind of spot her in the wild and say hi again, but I didn't. However, this is definitely, yeah, I've seen her knitting hers in her podcast, and pulling out all of the lovely surprises from it, and I'm there going, I want to do that too. You know, a bit of FOMO. And so I stopped by Rose's Moments a couple of times and ended up picking up this ball. So, yeah. I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't have a colourway name from what I can see. But this is it's very greens and blues with what looks like hints of purple and red. It's kind of hard to tell through the bag, but yes, this is... And I will be making socks for myself with these. So, as tempted as I am to copy Mandy from Mouse's Makes with the little shawl she's making, but yeah. I shall knit myself socks because I definitely need more socks. So, there is that. And I know for a fact I can get a pair of socks out of a single ball, because of course it's a 100-gram ball of yarn, but it weighs more than 100 grams because there's gifts all the way through it. So I'm excited to start knitting this up and see what emerges from the inside as I go. So yep, this is the next purchase, or one of them. I don't think I bought this straight away. I think I went back a couple of times and kept umming and ahhing, and in the end the little devil went, "You picked that up 3 times now, just buy it." So we have that, and green's definitely my colour. Into the bag again. This is my last purchase. This was the last thing I purchased before we left. And I can't tell you the name of this one. She did tell me what the name of it was. I know it's part of the Gemstones collection, but it's not written on the label. I think she said she'd been rushing to prep for the show and forgot to check if all of the labels had the names on. But it is from Yarn Unique, and it is the Starry Sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% lurex, which is the shiny thread running through it. And I was umming and ahhing over 3 different colours from Yarn Unique. I really need to stop sitting on the floor for long videos. There was this one. There was this one, which is blues and greens, which my partner says looks like a mermaid. There was another one which is a darkish blue, which was called Lapis Lazuli. and then there was another one which also wasn't named, but it was more green. This one kind of sits in the middle of the two. So if I can find this on her website, I will put the name of it here. But it is this sparkly, it's quite a plump sock yarn as well. It feels very, yeah, lofty, plump, round. It's not like a high twist, which does make me wonder if this is going to pill. I've not 100% decided what I'm going to make with this yet. I don't know if I want to make socks with it, or if I want to make something that's a bit more sort of on show, sort of something around the neck or something. Probably not a hat, because I don't wear hats all that much, and I've already made a hat this year. Although by the time I get to this, it'll be next year, but yeah. But this will sit in stash waiting for the perfect project because it is so pretty. And yeah, I very much love this. Yeah, she had a lot of very sparkly yarns, and you will notice a theme starting to show very, very shortly, revolving around sparkly yarn. But love this. I love it all. I love it all. So it's so pretty, and it is very soft, very plump and lovely. And yeah, I when I go to some of the stalls, if I pick something up and I realise that I'm taking it home with me, I start doing this in the shop because it's like, oh, I love the feel of this. And I sometimes do get funny looks like, could you please stop rubbing the yarn over your neck? Not so much from the shop people, but from other people, and then it's like, this is coming home with me, so it doesn't really matter if it's covered in my dead skin. But there's that, and I think I sorted this bag when I got home because it seems to be all the single skeins are on the top and all of the more than single skeins are on the bottom, if that makes sense. Oh, this one. This is a very, very moody, lovely colour. This is by Unseen Yarn. This is the label. And this colour is Garnet Noir. There was a fair few like noir colours. I think she had an Emerald Noir, which I was tempted to get, and my partner pointed out that if I buy any more green yarn, yeah, but I have this. I have a rough idea what I'm going to make with this. It's going to be part of a colourwork project. So, yes. But we shall see. This, yeah, I kind of went, I've got a nasty habit of just buying like one skein of stuff, so although there is quite a few single skeins, there is also not as single skeins. But that makes absolutely no sense. But yes, this lovely Unseen Yarn. It's, yeah, this stall was incredibly busy at the beginning of the show, to the point that I completely walked past it, didn't even notice it, didn't see what it was called or anything, and then I went past later and I went, oh, I didn't see that earlier. And of course, because of the name of the company, the partner went, that's because it's unseen. Yes, hun, very funny. Splendid. So, and hopefully you shall see this at some point next year, working into a nice, wonderful project for myself. And I love it. I don't know if I said, this is very much a reds and blacks and some very deep purples. Oh, it's so pretty. That's probably the closest thing to red that I will probably get. I don't really wear tons of red unless it's in something like a Christmas jumper. Next, I think, is the last single skein. it is the last single skein. And this is by Jo Knit Sew. It is her merino yak nylon base. It doesn't give the percentages of those, but it is a very, very moody colour, very purples and sort of bluey greens. The yak does make it look very, very moody, and as my partner pointed out after I told him what the name of it was, it describes me very well because it's called Hot Mess. These are going to be socks. I already know I'm making socks with these. These are going to be socks because I want some nice luxurious yak socks as well. He's got a pair. So, I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do a lace pattern or if I'm just going to let the yarn speak for itself and do it as a vanilla sock. But, yeah, it's very, very soft and squishy. It reminds me of the Ducky Darlings yak base. It's got the same feel as that from when I made my partner's socks. I speed knit in time for Wonderwool this year. But, it's so nice and so squishy. It's very, very squishy. This was one of these skeins. I was stood there in the stall looking at other stuff for ages. I think I was literally just there like that. So squishy. And now we should get on to the sweater quantities. They're more like t-shirt, tank top sweater quantities. But yeah, I'm going to get them out of the bag, so I'm not arguing with them in a moment. But I shall start with gift yarn, and this was a gift from my other half. He paid for this yarn. He basically picked the colour. I kind of picked out 3 different colours, narrowed it down to 2, and then he was like, well, that one's between the other 2 that I've knit with from this from this dyer, whereas this is very different. This is my favourite yarn base. It is the Creative Anarchy Borges. She did tell me how it's pronounced, and I completely forgot within about 5 seconds. I'm just gonna, this is coming undone, but it is this gorgeous pinky purple colour. It's very, very tonal. It's very, very nice. Love it. So the Borges base is 80% superwash merino, 20% silk, high twist. It is a high twist yarn. And this has 366 meters per 100 grams. And the colourway name, which I didn't realise till after we paid for it and then thought was absolutely hilarious, is, was he slow? When I showed the other half after he paid for it, and I said, by the way, do you know what this is called? And he was like, no. I was like, was he slow? And he was just like, but oh, this is gorgeous. This is lovely. My partner has good taste. I once again can't remember the name of the stall owner. I'm pretty sure she did say it. But I love this. This will be the third garment I have made using her yarn, her base, or I don't know if it's her base, but this will be the third. This has got to be my most, at this point, my most repeated yarn dyer. I don't think I've had, yeah, Woolly Tangle, that's the second. Yeah, I've got a lot of dyes that I've bought from twice. I think this is the first dye that's made it past 2. Although to be fair, there is other dyers that will make it past 2. Creative Anarchy is the first person to make it past 2, which yes. Actually, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. No, I'm wrong. This is the second dyer to make it past 2. The first one was Attic Spin Dye. And this skein is also trying to fall apart. Yes. Attic Spin Dye was the first. Creative Anarchy is the second. However, I think Creative Anarchy will also be the first one to make it to 4. Because I've got my eye on another colour. So long as I'm pretty sure she has the same colours in this base as standard, and then she does her collections that you can get in different ones, but I have my eye on another colour, which might be my birthday gift to myself next year. We shall see. Or if I don't buy it for my birthday, I will probably buy it if she's at Wonderwall. Now we're down to the last 2. And I shall start with the one that I bought first. My partner was not having a good day on Sunday. He's blaming the fact that I got him up early. Oh dear, poor baby. So at one point I was like, should you have a sit down here and I'll just have a wander around these last 2 stalls before we go to the other room. He was like, yes please, yes, I shall sit down. And he must have wondered where I was, because I was at this stall for a good 20 minutes deciding on the colours that I wanted, because trying to decide if I wanted to keep these 3 or if I wanted to add on another colour to try and extend it, but they didn't have, because they didn't have one of them anymore, they'd already sold it. But this yarn company is Coastal Colours. I don't believe they have a website from what I can tell, but they do have an email address. Oh, they might have a website actually. colours.co.uk. Oh no, that's info@coastalcolours.co.uk. So it is an email address. It doesn't look like they have a website. But these are the colours I got. So the gentleman there was really helpful. Like, he was so helpful trying to help me find things. I had originally picked up these 2 and really liked them. And he could see me holding them and just there stroking them and I think a lot of their colours are dyed sort of with a plan but not repeatable. There's a lot of like one pot wonders, I think he said it was. But these have been dyed in a specific way, like there's the black running through them which ties them together, which is this blue and pinky purple. And then he helped find this one, which kind of ties them all together because it's got the pink, the pinky purple, it's got the blues, and it's also got, let me pull the label down to show it, it's got this yellow with the black. And he said they also had the yellow as a single skein, similar to these, but he must have spent a good 5-10 minutes looking for it for me before his business partner or his wife said that she thinks it had already sold. And I was gutted because that would have been an amazing sweater, but it's fine. I am going to make a t-shirt using these 3 yarns. We shall see. I might be able to make a jumper. There is 400 meters. So I've got 1200 meters. I definitely have enough to make a t-shirt. I could probably make a cropped jumper with this. But as I mentioned in the past, I am quite tall with quite a lot of torso. So making it cropped might look a bit funny on me, but I love these. I love these colours so much. Like, usually when I go around, I do a first pass, and I generally don't buy anything on the first pass. Like, this was probably, I thought was going to be the only exception to what I was buy on the first pass. Usually buy little bits like the stitch stoppers, the doodle deck, because there's only 3 of those at the time, so I was like, I must have that. But usually I don't buy yarn on the first pass. I bought these because I couldn't risk them selling, and I am still in love with these. I still absolutely adore these. I am so looking forward to making something with these, and they are sparkly. I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but they are 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver sparkle. And I love these. I am going to have them, I don't know if I'm going to do them yet as chunky stripes or colour block it. I'm currently leaning towards stripes, but I will probably have them arranged like this, with the one with the yellow in the middle. Oh, I love these. I love these so much. And my legs are going to sleep sat down on the floor. But I am so happy with these. I will double check to see if they have a website, but I think it is just, yeah. But these are amazing. I love these. And now, to the last purchase. The last thing I bought, and yes, this is a lot of yarn, I'm aware this is a lot of yarn. The last thing I bought was completely the fault of the devil on my shoulder, is these. So these colours are by Pigment and Play. This is their label. And I have the colours Karma as a Cat and Dream Girl Evil. So Karma as a Cat is a very, it's basically black. It's a dark, there is some purple, like really deep purple, but I don't know if that's going to show up on camera at all. And this is Gold Sparkle. It's Gold Sparkle. Dream Girl Evil is this deep, rich, almost amethyst purple, and it's lovely. I love this. It's so pretty. And I am going to be making a lacy cardigan with these. I did look to see if there was another one of these, but she'd sold out. These were in a, not exactly a bargain bucket, but similar, in order to, I think it was part of like a promotion she was running where you could pick a skein of yarn, a project bag, a candle, and a couple of other little gifts for a set price. I found these in that bucket, and originally I picked up this one and went and was like, I'm not knitting myself a pair of socks using black yarn. Okay, I will curse myself. I'll be cursing myself and everything, and yeah. So there's someone who's kind of wandering past, but they've got so it's not a balloon or anything, but they seem to be holding something that's wafting in the wind or something, and it's quite distracting. Sorry. But, so yeah, I was like, and then my partner was like, oh, they've got 2 of them. You could do something with the 2. And I was like, I probably could, yes. I could probably make myself a tank top, but do I want to make myself a black tank top? And then he went, what about if you pair it with that? Can you stop being the devil on my shoulder? Yes, I shall pair it with that, thank you. Oh, I love him. He encourages me to buy yarn. What's not to love? And he's also the one who encouraged me to buy more stuff for myself, to make more stuff for myself, so we can write all this off as the idea of the partner. So, but yes, this black, and I think, I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I think this purple is in here, is what's giving it the slight purpley tone. Like, I think it's like, it's almost like someone's taken black and put it over this. That's what this reminds me of. So, there is that. I also saw Pigment and Ply at Wonderwall, and I am still thinking about their one colour of mohair, and I might have to actually order that in the new year. Email her to order that for my Semper sweater v-neck. But yeah, I have a lot of knitting to do. Oh dear, what a shame. But yes, that is a lot of yarn. I'm aware it's a lot of yarn, and when I got home I calculated how much it was. I was like, oh goodbye stash neutral, because that is 1,480 grams of yarn into stash. And of course, when I calculated that, I calculated how much I've used this year, and amazingly, I have used almost 5 kilograms of yarn this year already. And if I finish all of my Christmas knits, all my Christmas makes, before the end of the year, and maybe 1 or 2 other things, I will be 500 grams above my stash neutral. So stash neutral is 500 grams either way. I think I'm going to be 1,000 grams up. So next year, I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy yarn next year, because I will buy yarn next year, but I think I need to focus on making stuff for me, which will help me use up yarn that I have in stash, rather than making stuff for other people, because 9 times out of 10 if I'm making stuff for other people, I'm going out and buying the yarn for that. If I take any commission work, because I do take some commission work, I don't count that stash as, that yarn is going into stash, because most of it was for commission work, and I don't count the finished objects as coming out of stash either. I don't count them, even though like I might show them and go, and I finished this on commission. I'm not going to count it as a finished object in my stash goals, because that's all about my personal stash. So even though any leftovers might go into my stash, I don't count it. Although if I then use it in scrap projects or anything else, I count that as going out, but it all gets rather complicated, so. But yeah, that is my haul from the Christmas wool show at the NCC. And the kids have now kicked out of school, so if you hear a bit of extra noise in the background, there's 2 schools, one on each end of the road, and yeah, you hear them sort of crossing, like going past the house. But yeah, that's everything. Like, I would love to know if you have a favourite from this, or even if you have any suggestions of projects to make with it, because I would love to see what you'd make with any of these. Like I said, I plan on making a lacy cardigan with this, mostly because I want something a bit more fancy, a little more dressy, sort of, that keeps my arms warm. Yeah. I shall now go on to life stuffs. I got a good chunk of this second sock knit while I was sat in A&E. So, my sister on Thursday night was, well, Thursday evening was covering a shift at a different location. I'm not going to say where she works, but she was covering a shift at a different location. And then I get a phone call from my mum going, "Your sister's been taken to Redditch Hospital." So I basically went, "Oh my god, what happened?" And I may have mentioned this previously. My sister has a nut allergy. and she was exposed to nuts. We're not sure what happened. We don't know if it was accidental cross-contamination of food, accidental cross-contamination from a customer or something, but she was exposed to nuts and an ambulance was called. She was rushed to hospital. So at 11 o'clock Thursday night, I arrived at Redditch Hospital to find her in A&E. She'd been dumped in a fit-to-sit chair while she waited for the doctor. The ambulance crew had administered adrenaline, antihistamines, a couple of other things to get her stable, and then she was basically just left in a chair in A&E waiting for a doctor for the better part of 5 hours. And I didn't sleep that entire time. She slept, which was concerning, because my sister is a very, very light sleeper. Like, she has to be in a completely silent room. I mean, my sister is partially deaf, but she's a light sleeper. Like, if there's light, if there's sound, if there's anything, it will disturb her, and she was sleeping. So that was concerning. So I was there keeping an eye on her, making sure she was breathing while knitting. And the entire time, my other half, who goes into the office on Thursday, so he had been up since 7 o'clock, was sat in the car because they only allowed one person with someone at A&E. So that's where a good chunk of this is the only reason, that's the only reason these were done this week, is because I was sat in A&E. And yeah, so that's basically what my life had been this week. I've been incredibly busy. It looks like that's going to calm down, thankfully. However, I'm going to have to change when I record so that I can change when I edit these next few weeks, because I'm busy this Thursday. We've got workmen round the following Thursday because the staircase needs a service. I didn't realise that was a thing with houses, but apparently when you own a house you have to get your staircase serviced every once in a while. And then I've got visitors. Lots of visitors. Like, my staircase gets done and the next day the friends that this is for and the cowl is for, they arrive so that we can go to EGX. And then 3 days after they leave, my mum arrives for a visit, which also means I have to get her cardigan finished. She arrives in 2 weeks and 2 days. My cardigan's nowhere near finished. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. So, quite busy. Hopefully there's no more health scares. We shall see what happens. I am considering doing Vlogmas. It will not be a daily video, and it might just be something similar to this, where I'm kind of sat here and I talk to you about what's happened that day, what I've done, or what has happened that week. I'm not going to record anything while my mum is here, because, yeah, I'm not going to invade her privacy like that by catching her on camera or anything. But there will be there might be a couple of clips of what I get up to, but mostly it'll probably be this. I do not have a yarn advent calendar. I am far too picky and far too control freaky, maybe. I can't justify paying that much money for an advent calendar when I don't know what the colours are. Because I know you get a rough theme and most people do a mood board, but I could get one and end up going, there is far too much yellow and orange in this for my liking, and end up, it would be a waste of money and it wouldn't get used. I could sell it on to somebody who would love it, but I don't know if I could justify that. So you won't see me opening an advent calendar. You might catch a glimpse of a vegan chocolate one if I happen to pick one up, but I haven't even got one of those. So there won't be anything like that in it. It'll mostly be what I've been up to, you know, how much I love Christmas and Christmas food, and how much I absolutely hate all the stress that comes with it. I've already got all of my food orders put in. Like, I've already been to the butcher, I've already been to the greengrocers. I basically already have a shopping list of what I need to get. The rest of the wise, but that's basically what Vlogmas would look like for me. Mostly this. You might catch a glimpse of me going out to do my yearly food bank run. I tend to I put money aside each month in order to buy stuff for a food bank, and I make up, like, I don't know if they stay like this, I've never bothered to ask, but I will put together anywhere from 5 to 15 bags that are basically identical, with stuff like a box mix to make a cake, and other stuff. So I don't know if they sew like that, I don't know if they break them down or if they give them to people like that, but I tend to do that, so you might catch a glimpse of that. Otherwise it's mostly going to be me sat here talking. So, and obviously work around that, so I can't really show that. So, and yeah, because I've been so busy, I haven't really watched anything this week. I have definitely not read anything. I am feeling the urge to read. The problem is, because I like physical media, like when it comes to books, I have to have the physical book. I don't really like Kindles. I have a Kindle. I know they're probably better for the environment. I just can't. And I can't, because of how I read, I don't like breaking the spines on the books. So I have to hold them very carefully in a very specific way. And due to my eyesight and the way it works, I have to hold the book quite close even with my glasses on. It's like, there. So if I'm reading, I can't knit. And I have too much of a mental block when it comes to audiobooks, because someone can walk in, talk to me for a moment, and then that's it, I haven't got a clue what's going on. That could just be the ADHD. Audiobooks just don't work for me. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see what's going on. But yeah, I shall leave it there for this week. This is probably a ridiculously long video, and I know there's a couple of points that I have to cut out because of inconsiderate people who stick a Canon exhaust on their crappy little car that goes pop, 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 bang, 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 all the way down the bloody road. So I shall leave it there this week, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Yarn Hoarder Crafting Podcast. Yarn Hoarder, yes, I have a problem. We all have a problem, I'm sure. And I hope to see you next week. Bye, guys.